Hey guys, this is David here. Welcome to another episode of You're Not Alone. It's currently about 11 p.m. I'm about to hit the bed, but it's the past week or so has been very, very tough, very emotional, to say the least. Um, Yesterday I had a breakdown, emotional breakdown, first time in about a month or so. Um, it a lot of dark thoughts being brought up in my mind, um, which I'll talk about in this video for sure. But it's yeah, it's been emotional, to say the least. And thankfully, I have friends, and my family members and my dogs to help me overcome it in a way. But I'm currently almost a month off the mirtazapine uh, medication that was giving me the twitching problems, and I believe that after I stopped taking that medication, my life it's it's gone downhill. I can safely say. Um, I've been really unmotivated, really moody, not really happy, just kind of dealing with it, bottling things up inside, and it yeah, it hasn't been good, to say the least. It hasn't been good at all. I go see the psychiatrist on Friday of this week. So I'm leaving tomorrow to go do some stuff in North Carolina and go see the psychiatrist as well. So hopefully I get a medication that actually works. And I believe it did work to an extent. Because I was eating a lot more. I was being a bit more chippier. I wanted to do stuff, even though I wasn't really like super like positively super energetic or happy. Um, I still went out to do stuff, but after I stopped taking it. I just lacked the resolve to do anything with my life. A lot of negative thoughts. Some really heavy stuff as well. Um, and the twitching part, yeah, it's bad. It's when your body twitches or has like a mini seizure. There's something it's something acting up in your nervous system, which can cause some lifelong damage later down the road if left unchecked. It could really mess up your nervous system, so you won't be able to like react um, normally to things, or it can mess up your senses and stuff. Um, but sometimes I feel that like I would be okay with that as long as I was eating more, um, and I wasn't the way that I am right now. Um, but it's again trial and error. Um, and I do apologize in advance for being not really, I guess, kind of moody and just really quiet. It's pretty late and my family's asleep right now, but I figured that this is now the best time to make a video before I head out. Still doing once a week kinds of things. The dark thoughts I've been having is that I've been feeling suicidal lately. I mentioned before, and I'll remind, I guess, everyone again that I was suicidal and really suicidal in senior year. Um, I think that if I wasn't like scared to do it, I would not be here right now. I think I would have taken my own life because it, it was just a pain to live. And right now, it is a pain to live. Um, it's a pain because I'm stuck dealing with this, and everyone's trying to help me as best as they can, and I just it's not like I don't do anything with their advice, and this way of living is just it's awful. It really is. And that was my emotional breakdown. Um, Me and my team for Dota, um, we were trying to discuss the games that we lost last night, and people were getting flustered. I think everyone was a bit mad, not at other people, but at themselves, and oh, these games, we could have done way better, but we were just doing so poorly and stuff like that. But everyone was reflecting, but I took it to the extreme, to the fact that I said I need to be kicked. I can't I'm just holding everyone back, um, which I still feel like I'm holding people back a lot. One of my good friends, he he he's really passionate. I think we all are about the game. Um, but he gets noticed a lot by other people just because of his personality and his playstyle. He impresses a lot of people, um, and he it's not like it's not like he's saying he tells me he he tells me about all these different people that he's met, and how they're asking if he's on a team, and getting all these offers and stuff. And I know he's not trying to brag. I don't think he is. It's just conversation. And I don't really take it that he's bragging that all these different people want him on the team and stuff. But as of late, it makes me feel that he's really dedicated to us, and I can't really express my gratitude in words for that, because we've never met online, but we've talked. I mean, we never met in real life, but we talked online for all these years, about 3 or 4 years now. Um, Sometimes on and off, but we always talk to each other about our he is one of my best friends. I can safely say my team is are just full of my best friends. All my teammates are, even if we haven't met each other online. Even if I've only known them for maybe less than a year or so, like like a, to me, just having people that want to help you no matter what, and they share the same passions as you, and all that other stuff. Not necessarily stressing on sharing the same passions, but just having a way to connect with each other, and just we can just be comfortable talking about things, you know. That's what I can do. That's what I can safely do with my team. I can just safe, I guess not really safely, but I feel comfortable talking about my issues, just as they're comfortable talking about their issues. And in a sense, even though we haven't met in real life, I think we're it's we've known each other for our entire lives, because we understand each other, or we want, and we try to understand each other more, you know. And it's something that, yeah, I can talk to my real life friends about too, but they have their lives, you know. Um, they're doing stuff with their lives, and I know that they're always there for me. But with these guys, like, we're just on like most of the time, and we just talk about whatever, funny videos, Dota replays, just whatever, and it's I can safely say that my team at the moment is they're my best friends. I got to know them. I'm getting to know some members a bit more, and I've gotten to know some other members like more than what I previously knew about in the past. So, but anyway, I got sidetracked. But I so he about the guy getting his getting all these offers. It made me feel a bit bad because he plays in a higher tier than the rest of us because he's committed to the game. He grinds and he practices and he wants to get better, and he's done just that, and he's still like aiming at higher heights. Um, he always gets offers from like higher skill, even higher than him. Like they just love his support so much that like they think that he's a good fit for like their teams. And he tells us this just cuz, you know, like just for conversation, or at least I think. I'm pretty sure it's for conversation, but and he always says that like, yeah, I decline, you know, cuz I have you guys. And while that makes me feel very good, you know, that he's choosing us over those people, I just feel like I'm just holding him back, you know, because he's committed and I want to be committed, but I'm not, but my actions don't show it. And I always believe in the philosophy or the way of life of actions speak louder than words. Because you can say a lot of stuff. Like, you can say that, like, oh, I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be president of the United States. But if you don't work towards it, like, anyone can say that. I can say it. I can say, oh, I'm going to be president of the United States. Technically I can't because I was born in another country, but you know, I can say if I wanted to, you know. And just as, you know, how other people say, "Oh, I'm going to be like the best NFL player in the world." And they don't do it. Like that's me. I say stuff and I don't act on it. It's just one of my many regrets that I have. And to me, it's not fair to them. It's not fair to them in the slightest. It's not. They push me. They try to encourage me, try to motivate me, you know, to kind of encourage me to, you know, just start, you know, grinding, start practicing. Um, but I always take it negatively, just how I do with like a lot of things in life. I think the worst part is that I don't want to be a burden towards people, and that's what I'm being, you know. Um, I'm holding one of my teammates back. That's for sure. I mean, if you wanted to, like, if you really wanted to, and I wouldn't hold it against him in the slightest, you know, because in this world, as bad as it sounds, like this is why I hate reality, but you just gotta do whatever it takes, you know, just to get to where you want to be. It's a thorny path that everyone takes in life. That's what I hate. I just hate it. I just hate reality. I hate reality so much because no matter what path you take, it's gonna be thorny. And what I mean by that is that you're gonna get cut. Like, it's not a clear path. You're gonna hurt people, or you're gonna do things that like you may regret to get to where you are. Whether it's, abandoning, your friends because, maybe they're holding you back. Who knows? Or maybe, that you leave a company that you've been working for 10 years to another company who's going to offer you more benefits or something. You do like it's just it's a negative view on the world. And unfortunately, that's the only one. That's the only way I can think of this world right now. But in the end, I just feel like I'm being a burden towards my teammates. I'm not being fair to them, even though they're trying so hard to work with me on my situation. And then they get frustrated sometimes, which makes me feel even worse because I know that I'm the cause of it, and I'm not blaming them. I'm not taking out my anger. Like, I'm not angry. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not angry at them. This isn't me trying to vent out my problems. I just, if I'm angry at someone, it's myself. Just for being this way. It's hard. Every day is a struggle. Some days, one day I feel like I've made tons of progress, and then the next I just take several steps downwards in the opposite direction. And when I think I've reached my lowest point, it just amazingly it gets lower. Back to an earlier topic in this video that I briefly mentioned, I have been feeling suicidal lately. I don't think of ways to end my life as I did in the past. In the past, senior year, when I first started feeling suicidal, I just thought of different ways to kill myself. I lived in a townhouse with my dad, and I slept, my room was on the second floor with a window, and I would open the window to let some air in, and I look downwards, and I just think, well, if I just fell head first, would I die? Or when I'm by myself, I grab the knife and I just, examine it, asking these questions. Is it sharp? And then I test it out, not on myself. I cut like a piece of food with it. And then I think of a way to, like, what's the least painful way for me to do this? Where it'll be instant. Where I won't have to suffer. There were times where I wonder if I could just, wreck my car on purpose and just have the impact just kill me. I wouldn't try to injure other people or kill other people in the process. Or just, I don't know, hit up a lamppost or something. It's not as severe right now. that was in the past. The reason why I say I'm suicidal now is because all I think about is just disappearing. All I think about is dying. I don't plan to kill myself. I'm not planning to kill myself. But that's all I think about is just dying. And as bad, as morbid as it sounds, this is going to be probably the most morbid thing that I'm going to say right now. But since I'm having trouble sleeping, I try to dream of things, just random things, whether it's just of an anime I watched or just any random thing, and it doesn't put me to sleep, but me thinking about dying and just disappearing, just being stress free, just getting rid of my emotional attachments to everything, every passion that I had, every bad memory that I had, every good memory, just leave everything behind on Earth. It puts me to sleep. It's not a comfortable thing to say, nor is it a healthy thing to think about. Please let me alliterate one more time. I'm not trying to kill myself. I don't think about ways to kill myself anymore. I just want to just disappear. I want to be non-existent. I worry. I worried my mom last night. I worried my friends. They were scared for me. They had every right to be. Because you can never tell someone going through depression. It's a lot of things that I've done is kind of impulse, and I'm scared. I'm scared that one day a switch is gonna flip and I just do something on impulse. I do something horrible. I say that I'm scared now, but I'm sure everyone was scared. Everyone's scared now. And I'm sure that the people who did kill themselves, they were very scared. They were scared of dying. And when they died, it was just because it was an impulse. I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to I hope that things will get better. And maybe they will. I don't want to make you guys worry. Because I made a promise, multiple promises, but one of my promises was to continue doing this video series for as long as possible. and to and when I overcome this, I can look back at all these videos and just, kind of be amazed at the progress that I've made, the struggles that I've overcome, the difficulties, the stress, anxiety. I want to be a person who says I successfully beat depression. I think that my family and friends and Dota they give me reasons to live. I wish that life wasn't necessarily easy, but we didn't have to go through these things. Nobody, man, dog, whatever, nobody should go through these things. Nobody should go through depression. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. We should not, our body shouldn't work against itself. The mind shouldn't work against itself. The mind shouldn't self-implode, shouldn't want to inflict self-harm, shouldn't betray us. That's what my mind is doing right now. It's just betraying me. It's a stab in the back. It's a stab in the back. I believe it'll get better. Or at least I like to believe it get better, but we'll have to see. This Friday it's not the ultimatum, but it'll either help me or we'll be back at square one again. But as always, let's try to as depressing as this entire video has been, let's try to focus on something that makes me happy. I think I like to dedicate this section of the video to my dogs. I have 2 dogs currently, a toy poodle named Junior and a Maltese named Bogey. I had 2 other toy poodles in the past. One by the name of Coco, and the other one was the name of Charmander. Coco died when I was in middle school and when I was in 8th grade. Charmander died early this year. But both these dogs, I'll talk about each one actually. I don't really remember much of Coco because he was born in 93 and I was born in 96. The only clear memories I have of him were when he was old and he was blind, fully blind in one eye. But he was old, and he was a quiet dog from what I remember. Probably because he was so old. We had I I believe we had a lot of good memories. I've recently discovered a bunch of photo albums of my mom, who dedicated the photo albums to my dog Coco, because my mom she has allergies and she gets allergic to most things. A lot of dandruff, hair, dog hair, cat hair. But she loves animals. She loves animals. Um, it wasn't until the 90s where she discovered that non there's non-allergenic dogs, non-shedding, hypoallergenic allergenic dogs. Yeah. Um, and so she chose a toy poodle because they were small and they were cute, and yeah, it was kind of like the first pet that she could actually, like, stand to have without without her allergies acting up, or her parents' allergies acting up, or um but I saw some pictures and heard some stories from my mom about Coco. Um, Coco initially, he was a very quiet puppy. Um, at first, he didn't really do anything with my parents. Um, he would always lay underneath a like a nightstand in the living room. Kind of just that was like his little home for a bit. And my mom was kind of sad because she thought that there was something wrong with him, and turns out he was just a little anxious, a little shy to his surroundings. Because a couple days later, he kind of emerged from that from his area and started being a dog, so to speak. Um, at first, he always followed my dad around because my dad would play with him a lot. Didn't really do much with my mom, but as time went on, he would he began following my mom around because she was around him more than my dad, because my dad would be working a lot. Um, he's the first dog that I ever gotten to know. Um, I was very sad when he died, but there are pictures of me and him together. Him sitting like when I was a baby, when I was adopted, and I was sitting in my um, my little not crib, but yeah, kind of makeshift crib. He would lay right next to me, or he would lay in my empty crib when I was preoccupied with something else. Um, never never once snarled at me or growled at me. Um, he always wanted. Um, he was just a friendly dog. He was just there for me, you know. Um, I remember there was a time where 'cause at the time we only had him as my pet, but I got curious about the dog food that he was eating, and it was like Kibbles and Bits or something, and they I think Kibbles and Bits, they have like these soft pieces, the bits, and then the kibbles, like the hard pellet things. And I got curious because Coco would always like to eat. He would always eat in the laundry room, and I followed him one time. I wasn't a baby, but like I was like a little kid, and I was wondering how it tasted. But I tried the kibble and I didn't like it, but then I tried the bits and I really liked it. And so I would be picking out the bits from his kibble and bits, and he would just like kind of stare at me, be like, "Yo, dude, you're taking my food. Like, you're taking my bits. Those are the best parts of the food. You're like eating the best parts." And yeah, he would kind of just like he wouldn't like growl at me if I'm taking his food. He'd just kind of stare at me. kind of like, what is he doing kind of thing. Um, and me and him, we had a little bonding moment. I kind of fed him some, hand fed him some. I would eat some, then I feed him some, and yeah, we got along. Um, as he got way older and really blind, um, you could always his footsteps, because we had hardwood floors. His footsteps would always wake me up. Because my mom would leave the door cracked open because Coco would want to get like want to eat. He would wake up early and like eat breakfast or something, and then go right back to sleep. Um, but in the mornings, like I can always tell it was Coco. Um, I could always tell which dog was going down the hallway. If it was Junior or Charmander, it would be scurrying down, but it was Coco. It was a slow clack of his paws and his movements. I was very devastated when we had to put him down due to old age. But I tried to make sure that his last days were good ones, at least. He's been gone for almost 9 years now, going on 10. Um, I hope I get to meet him in the afterlife, maybe. I hope I get to meet all my dogs in the afterlife. Um, but moving on to the next dog, we have Charmander. Now, Charmander, I took over the name calling for Charmander and Junior. My mom wanted another poodle because she was, you know, preparing for. She wanted Coco to have a friend, but also she was preparing for the fact that he was going to pass away due to old age, because he was getting older. He wasn't going to be around for much longer. But she wanted him to have a friend because he's always been the dog that's, he's been the only dog in the house. So we got Charmander. Now, Charmander was a apricot colored dog. Coco was a brown colored dog. I remember fully him and Junior. I remember fully, because I grew up with them essentially. I grew up with Coco too, but like I can safely remember Charmander and Junior from the day that I first met them to now. Charmander, when he was very quiet, as per normal as a puppy, I guess. We got him from I want to say, I don't know if it was a dog breeder or not, but he was a red colored dog, and I named him Charmander because he was red, and I still am a huge Pokemon fan, but I wanted he reminded me of Charmander. Charmander is my favorite Pokemon, and he was red, so I put two and two together, and I decided to call him Charmander. And he was he got along with Coco. He annoyed Coco a lot because he was a puppy and he wanted to play, and Coco just wanted to sleep. But he and Junior, they're both spoiled. My mom spoiled Charmander a lot. He was very energetic. He always wanted to play with you. Always wanted to play. If you weren't doing anything, if you were like watching TV or something, he would always like come up next to you with a toy. He started, like kind of growling and like indicating that like, hey, I want to play fetch. always wanted to play, and he had a personality on him. He was he was a big barker. He liked to bark a lot. Um, Barked at strangers, barked at friends, barked at my family. He just he was just very loud. He was a very loud dog. Um, Now the thing about Charmander Jr. is that Charmander is the father of Junior. Um, One of my mom's friends who worked at a veterinarian, worked at a vet that we took our dogs to, really wanted a colored poodle like Charmander, and so she talked her into breeding Charmander with her dog in the hopes that she would get a apricot colored dog. Um, our reward was is that we could either get like money for compensation, or we can get a puppy of our choosing, which they both agreed on, and they kind of left it up to heirs. Um, Unfortunately for her, she did not get an orange-colored dog. The mother of Junior, her name was Pixie. She was a black colored poodle, and all her puppies were black-haired. Um, it was kind of funny because I never pictured Charmander doing that kind of stuff at all in his life. Because Coco, they didn't do it with Coco, and didn't, I just didn't assume they wouldn't do it with Charmander. Um, I remember Charmander when he was a puppy, and he saw his reflection in the dishwasher, and kind of just like we were just eating dinner, and then it got quiet, and then all of a sudden we just see Charmander stare at his reflection, not knowing that it was him. He thought it was another dog, and he would start barking and growling at his reflection. And we were all looking at him, and he went over to go like try to play with it, and he would run. He would scurry on up, and he would like leap at the dishwasher, and he hit himself with the dishwasher, and he realized that yeah, reflections are a thing. um, as he got older, he got way fatter. He got really, really fat, really large, and he had some breathing problems too. Um, a lot of breathing problems. He would wheeze every now and again. He didn't like being picked up a lot. He would always growl when he got picked up, even though we picked him up a lot when he was a puppy. I don't know if it was because like something was hurting or what, but he would growl when he would get picked up, but he would stop growling he would stop growling once once you like set him down at like your destination. He was a lap dog, and he loved scratches. His favorite spot was on the back of his neck, right here. That was his favorite spot of all time. If you scratched there, his leg would just go, you know, just go thumping all the time. And he loved scratches a lot. He passed away earlier this year, due to an enlarged heart that caused him to stop breathing. And unfortunately, I didn't see him at all. Um, for I think the entirety of 2016, I did not see him. Because I never came down to South Carolina. And when I heard the news, I was devastated. still am devastated. One of the dogs that I grew up with, I didn't get to see him. Just one of my many regrets. And it happened so suddenly. He was only like 12 or something, and he was taken away from me. The next dog, Junior, is the son of Charmander, and Junior, call him King Juju. That's his nickname, Juju. Um, Now that he and Charmander would always get into fiascos about just about everything. My mom spoiled both those dogs. And she still spoils Junior a lot. I do too, kind of. But yeah, they both fought for my mom's attention. They fought for everything, really. Whether playing, you throw a toy at them, or you want to play fetch, they both run after it. They both grab it and they start trying to rip their heads off and stuff. They were like rivals, not really enemies, because they got along. It's just that they were so jealous of one another. They were rivals, to say the least. Junior's 9 now, or 8 going into 9. He was born in 2008. He got to know Coco for a little bit before he passed. And one of the memories I have was when he was a puppy. My Coco would, he would be lazing around and didn't really get to physically see Junior, but he smelled him, and he knew that he was there. But he would always give Junior baths. He would always lick Junior on his face, and whenever Coco was in his bed, he would Junior would just and Charmander was on my mom's lap or whatever. Junior would just hop on down, lay back up, right next to Coco, and then Coco would kind of wake up, sniff the area, find out where Junior is, and he would start licking away, start giving him a bath, and he still did that for a couple days after Coco was gone. He would still do that thing, just waiting. And over time, he started doing that to Charmander, a little bit, kind of passing on the tradition of giving baths. As I said, well, the name behind Junior, my mom decided to get. I convinced my mom to get a third dog. My dad did not want a third dog. And my brother wanted a third dog. My mom was unsure, but I was kind of the final straw in the whole matter. I kind of gave her that extra push to go get another dog. And in the end, we got Junior. Now, her condition for picking any dog out of the litter was that she wanted the smallest. She wanted the runt of the litter. She wanted the smallest dog out of the bunch, and because she wanted a really tiny dog, because she thinks tiny dogs are cute. And I named him Junior because, he was Charmander's son. He was small. He was a junior. He was Junior. And as he grew up, he started mimicking Charmander a lot, like father, like son, and now he's a chip off the old block, sort of thing. We call him King Junior now, because he thinks now that Charmander's gone, he no longer has a rival. and he thinks that everything is his now. It's very spoiled rotten. Always, he gets a treat every day, him and Bogey, and he's never contested for anything because Bogey's a very passive dog, and we give him lots of love, and yeah, he's still with us today, and he and Bogey helped me through my emotional crisis at the end last night. Now Bogey, I don't know much about Bogey. I do know that Bogey was my grandfather's dog before he passed. My grandfather was very depressed when my grandmother died. He wasn't eating right. He wasn't going outside. He was smoking. Something that he stopped doing because my grandmother would tell him to stop because she didn't like it, and she told him to stop, and he did. He really loved my grandmother a lot, and when she died, he was very depressed. He wasn't taking care of himself, just like I'm doing right now. And so, my family thought it was a good idea to get him a dog. Now, I think it was my aunt, who, on my mom's side, who got Bogey for him. Bogey was a puppy. My mom wanted him to get an older dog who was like house trained and stuff. But she got him a puppy. And he's named Bogey because my grandfather loved golf a lot. He would always golf, or he used to golf a lot, and he stopped doing it after my grandmother died. He just lost passion for it, but he named him Bogey for golf, and yeah, he he's a very loud dog. He barks the loudest out of and more frequently. You open a door or something, and he'll start barking away, and he always loves food. My grandfather would always throw bits and pieces of food that he wouldn't eat on the floor, and Bogey would just eat it. So now every time there's food out, he just expects that he's gonna get food, just 'cause he always got food. He can never get fat though. He's eaten a lot, and I have never seen him get fat. Like, he's really skinny for a dog. But he loves people. He doesn't like bark at them constantly. He barks initially because he's excited for meeting a new person, and he's a very friendly dog, and he loves people because he thinks that they're here to see him. Seems to have a sweeter side towards me. He always licks and nibbles my ear. And then Junior gets jealous, and then he comes over. And him and Junior have a good dynamic, because they're not fighting over things. Like, if Junior gets jealous and he comes over, Bogey will just, he'll just walk away. Like, it doesn't really bother him. He doesn't get whiny or anything. He's a very chill dog. He's not a selfish dog in the slightest. Junior, he's a selfish dog. Bogey, not really. He's just happy that if you just, give him food or give him attention, and he'll be happy. He loves scratches. I can always find his sweet spot. Always. My mom and my brother always try to find his sweet spot to no avail, but I always seem to find his sweet spot. But he always give me licks. He would always lick my face, and whenever I had food in my room, he would always follow me into my room to get food. And if he wanted food, he growls at me, like, not like big growls, but he do a little growl to get my attention. He's a very sweet dog, but he's 7 years old right now, so he's only a couple years younger than Junior. But I'm very thankful to have both my dogs with me. They help a lot. And I believe we don't deserve dogs. We don't deserve dogs in the slightest. Because dogs, they just have this one switch, and that's just to love. Like, and I get really angry at people who abuse such creatures. Because all they want is love. All they give is love. They don't care if you were like convicted of murder. They don't care if you're like a bad person, like you have a rotten personality. Like, they just love you for who you are. They love you if you take care of them. All they know how to do is love. And that's why we don't deserve dogs, because we take them for granted a lot of the times because they're animals. But and yeah, they are animals, but like they're I think they're way better than humans, because they don't bite. They don't talk behind your back. They don't cause unnecessary drama. They just want one thing from you. They just want attention, and they want your love. And then when you give them love, they give you love. And that's what I need right now. I need love. And that's what they give. So I'm very thankful to have dogs in my life. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have dogs in my life. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have animals in my life. Animals make me happy. But those are all four of my dogs so far. Hopefully I get another dog. But my mom doesn't want to get another dog till both my dogs are gone right now. Um, and she also decided that she doesn't want a boy anymore. She wants a girl dog. So, gotta think of a new name. But but yeah, ending on a positive note. Dogs make me happy. Dogs make everyone happy. And oh, it's almost an hour long. But thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And I know that this video is, one, is super long, and two, it's, for the most part, it's not very chip. It's not very happy. It's not radiating happiness. And I do apologize for that. And I don't want to. I'm not encouraging negative thoughts. I don't want to encourage negative thoughts. Just more insight to, yeah, you have. I guess I'm living proof of, yeah, you have good days and then you have bad days. It's just an ongoing battle. It is an ongoing battle, and it's hard to fight it sometimes. I know, because I find it hard to fight back. But I'm still praying, still hoping that everything will work out in the end. And I have people who want to help me, friends, family, pets, etc. So, yeah. Once again, as always with the endings, depression is still depression, stress is still stress, and anxiety is still anxiety, no matter what, no matter how severe. In the end, we all have the same thing, and we're not alone. And I try to tell myself this every day, and my friends tell me this every day, that I'm not alone. Kind of ironic that I made this series called "You're Not Alone," and I am having doubts about other people sharing the same thing. But yeah, it's one step at a time. One step at a time. But thanks again for taking the time to watch my video. This video series was brought to you, or was inspired by Little Kuriboh and his video series. We're Still Here. about his battle through depression and stuff. He still is posting videos. Um, he's been doing it for about over a couple years now, and they help me a lot. They do. They do help me a lot. He's such a funny guy. Has such a very creative personality. He's such a lovable figure. Um, and it's not really inspiring, but it's kind of it makes me feel not good about myself, but it makes me feel like I'm not truly alone. Because my heroes, the people I look up to, they have it, you know. And even though I've never met him before, even though he doesn't know me, and he probably hasn't seen my videos, like, it's something I guess I can safely say that, like, we share that, like, that kind of connection. Like, we can understand each other on that kind of level. And that's kind of what I want. You know, kind of connect people. But, thanks again for watching, guys. And, as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.